What's up, what's up? In this video, I want to quickly show you how I wax my surfboard. Let's hop to it. So the surfboard that I'm working with today is called the Love Child by Modern Surfboards. It's a sexy little number that I'm going to fully review from tip to tail here in the next coming weeks, and then I'll publish it on this channel. In the meantime, let's go ahead and wax this thing down nice and neat so that when we actually get out to the coast and go surfing, we'll be able to grip to it. Because as it stands, this surfboard is very shiny, it's very slippery. You add water, everything's just gonna get even more slick, and then no surfing can happen. The first thing that I'd like to say is that there's no correct or incorrect way to wax a surfboard. Some people are very methodical about their wax jobs. They make a nice grid pattern and every square inch is pre-planned. Other people go berserk, do it every which way. Doesn't really matter what you do, as long as you do a thorough job and your body and your feet stick to the surfboard, you've waxed it correctly. So don't feel any pressure. That being said, it does help to kind of get in there and spend some time doing this, because that'll essentially prevent you from having to re-wax your board over and over again, which does get annoying, especially if your friends are catching waves and you're sitting on the beach scrambling to find wax to wax the board. So I think it's best to always wax at home. That way when you get to the coast, you're ready to go. So there's two pro tips. A, there's no wrong way to wax a surfboard. B, take the time, do it right at home so that when you arrive to the beach, you can just go. If you want the best wax job possible, you're gonna want to wax your surfboard with two different types of waxes. You're gonna wanna hit it with a base coat, that's step number one. After that, you're gonna wanna go over it with a soft wax. And the way that I'm gonna explain this is kind of like painting a house. When you go to paint a house, you can just slap paint on the side of the house and it'll work just fine. But if you make sure to prime the house first and then paint over the primer, the paint job is gonna last a hell of a lot longer. So your base coat is essentially like your primer. You're gonna hit the surfboard with that first, and it's gonna stick to the board and help the top coat, the soft wax, adhere to the surfboard a little bit better. Today I'll be working with this Ocean and Earth wax. You can choose to use this wax or any wax you prefer. It really doesn't matter. I like this wax because it comes in a nice little pouch that's resealable. And that's nice because after you're done waxing your board, you can stick it back in the pouch, seal it up, and then this wax is not going to melt in your car and get all over your seats. So that's one big plus to going with a wax that is in a sealed little pouch. Okay, so we have our different bars of wax. You can break them in half because you're gonna wanna use this later. You know, you're gonna have to re-wax your board at some point. So for now, we're gonna get rid of the soft wax, our top coat, so that we don't get confused. And we have our base coat, our hard wax, and we're just gonna start applying it. The first thing that you wanna figure out is about where you want to start waxing and stop waxing. Since this is kind of a fun-shaped board, some people might have the skill ability to nose ride, in which case they might wax this entire board. I'm not quite there yet. I'm like intermediate beginner. So I know that my foot will never really go past this point. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to draw a line of wax at, where I stop waxing. So beyond that point, I really don't need to worry about anything. And then I'm a line person, so I basically just start making lines. And you go all the way down your board. You want to press down evenly and with a little bit of pressure, but you don't want so much pressure that the veins on your neck are standing out. So you just go through and you just go rail to rail and then nose to tail. And then once you've pretty much gone down to about where your back foot will be, you start going the other way. And if you get little accumulations of wax, just rub it in. And then I also like to hit the rails because my feet from time to time will kind of grip the rails, and I want to make sure that I stick there. You know, not crazy. I'm not going overboard. I'm not going past the rails to the bottom of the board, but I do want to hit a little bit of the rails so that when my foot goes there, there's some grip. Maybe a little bit more up in here. And that's looking pretty good. So then you take your hard wax, aka your base coat, you seal it in this pouch for future use, and then you pull out your soft wax. Again, the soft wax is going to have a lower melting point, so it's just going to be stickier. So when you put it on the top coat, the hard wax, it's going to be maximum sticky. Again, you want to break this thing in half and show the entire world how weak your hands are. And now I just start going in a circular pattern and filling in the gaps. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm creating thousands of little bumps, little wax bumps on my board, which equals a big traction pad when I'm in the water. Take your time. Make sure you go over this board thoroughly, because you want it to be sticky wherever. That way, if you go to catch a wave and your foot lands here or here or here or here, it really won't matter because the entire board will be sticky. And you know what? I'm going to go all the way to the back, so a little bit more base coat. See what I mean? It's not rocket science. If you ever miss a spot, you can come back with the base coat and then hit it again with the soft coat, the top coat. And you fill this part in because you don't want a super straight line. That kind of looks like a bowl cut for a surfboard. The last thing that you want to do is you want to examine your surfboard up close. What you're looking for is thousands of tiny little bumps made out of wax. It looks pretty good. And if that's what you observe, congratulations, give yourself a high five because you just waxed your surfboard like a boss. That's all there is to it.